I think this has to be the most chaotic clean with me I have ever filmed. I was all over the place in this video, but we got so much done. Preparing for an open house is no joke. You usually have a limited amount of time and 1,000,001 projects to do. So that is what we are doing today. I knew I wanted to get all the bedding washed and everything, so I am starting off there. And actually, it ended up turning into so much more than even bedding. With us having animals and knowing the smell of animals is one thing that can really turn off buyers, I knew pretty much anything that was fabric in my house, I wanted to get washed on this day. So we did bedding, we did rugs, we did blankets. Literally, from morning till night, I was running the washer and dryer and constantly doing laundry. However, throughout today's video, I want to answer some most commonly asked questions lately about us moving. I've been getting these questions all the time, and I figured this would be the perfect video to kind of give you guys a Q&A as well as show you what I do and how the house looks before any showings or open houses. Now, the first question I think is more of a misunderstanding. A lot of people have been wondering why we're selling this house and buying a bigger house and everything, and we actually are not planning on buying a bigger house. I'm very weird, and I have always said anything over 2,000 square feet or much over 2,000 square feet, I don't want. Like those 3,000-4,000 square foot homes to me are not attractive for the pure fact of that's a lot of cleaning. I don't know about you, but I don't want to have to be cleaning that much space. So we are not looking to move for the idea of getting a bigger house, but we are actually looking to move because we want more land. So right now our house is on about 1/4 acre. And our goal is to buy about 10 acres with my mom and dad. That way we can start a more self-sufficient homestead with livestock and gardens and all of those things.
Yeah. Even in my wildest dreams, I didn't think we were destined to be. And now you're laying next to me. Everything feels like art, yeah. Wanna give you every part of me. I can't believe this is reality. And now you're laying next to me. Everything feels like art, yeah.
So as I was cleaning, my biggest goal was to work on like the high impact obvious things first. So when cleaning up Freya's room, I was just tidying everything up, grabbing the bedding. The open house actually wasn't till the next day, so I knew a lot of this stuff wasn't a big deal. However, Xander was home with me. Xander and Athena were home with me. Bjorn and Freya and Bobby actually were up in Wisconsin. So I knew when it came to bedding, doing Bjorn's bedding and Freya's bedding right away was going to be the easiest because they weren't going to be coming home to make a mess in their room or on their side of the bed. So anything else, I was like, okay, I can always redo Athena's bed day of and Xander's bed, things like that, because they're going to be sleeping in their areas, playing in their rooms and whatnot. But the areas that I knew wouldn't get touched for a couple of days because they weren't even home were the areas that I was going to focus on first, because there's nothing more satisfying than actually having a room stay clean. I'm sure you can imagine as a mom, it doesn't take long for a house to get out of control. And on top of that, if you follow our family vlog channel, you already got a sneak peek. But I also, while Bobby and the kids were out of town, ended up doing a room swap, which you guys are going to see coming very soon. The kids had been asking about wanting their own room. Freya had been asking about when Athena's going to go into her room. So I figured, well, Bobby and the kids were out of town. It was the perfect time to surprise Bjorn and Freya with a little room makeover and change things up.
Sunshine.
All right, so I had to respond to this question just because it literally made me laugh out loud and asked if we are moving because I ran out of things to film. No, there is always projects to do in this house. There's actually things that I still want to do, and I've put it on hold because we're selling. Why do those different things? Like the kids' bathroom, I want to remodel and things like that. And they also asked if I started my Helping Hand series because of running out of things to film. And if you've been with my channel for a while, you know I've actually been doing my Helping Hand series since 2019. I've just done it off and on. It's kind of changed just depending on the time of year. So I started it right after Bobby got home from deployment and one of his friends needed help. That kind of what kicked off the whole thing. And then I started with friends and family, and it just grew from that. However, once I got pregnant with Freya, I put it on hold, and then COVID started and everything. And then we started getting ready to move to Florida, and it just got kind of crazy. I then started it back up when we were down here and did it for a good bit. But after some struggle with infertility and pregnancy loss and stuff like that, emotionally, I was just having a hard time doing all the things. So once again, I put it on hold and really didn't want to start it up again till after Athena was a little bit older and we had her. And here it is again. But like I said, if you've been with my channel for a while, you already know that. So kind of probably wondering what I'm doing here. I really wanted to do a deep clean on my faucets. So I'm taking Dawn dish soap and putting it down all the drains. The reason I am doing this is the Dawn is actually going to loosen up the gunk and stuff in there. And I left it for probably about 30 minutes to an hour. Just put it in and let it sit. And I went on and, as you can see, started working on other things. So cleaning off the dog hair on our bed. This vacuum I have been very impressed with, and the light is better than any light I've had on a vacuum. As you can see, it really highlights all the hair. I laughed the other day because I got a comment from someone saying they have a love-hate relationship with their vacuum like this. And I asked them, I'm like, is it because it shows all of our dirty little secrets? Because that was exactly my thought. Whenever I use this, the handheld one or the floor one, I'm always just kind of shocked at how much hair is actually on my floor that you just don't see with the naked eye. But once you get the light shining on it, it's insane. But no, we are not moving for content. I actually laugh whenever I hear stuff like that because I know I definitely have seen it where there is content creators that do stuff like that, but I don't think the majority of us do, especially us like moms that are doing stuff like this. I am truly moving because it's what we want. We have dreamt of doing something like this for years, and we are finally in a position that we actually can do it, and we are so excited. Like the idea of actually being able to buy something and have land and everything is, I never thought would actually be possible and doable, and I love that we are at a point where it is. We also are trying to become more financially responsible and financially independent. We are totally cool with like our mortgage and stuff we have now, but Bobby and I always talk about how much it would be nicer to actually have less bills. That way we had more freedom in the future. So that's actually our goal. We're actually looking to downsize when it comes to bills and stuff and be able to set our kids up and their future up and not be nervous about the future. I know a lot of people my age, it's really hard to save for retirement and stuff. And we feel like this is a way that on top of our 401ks and things like that, that it's just going to give us a lot more freedom and a lot less stress. I feel like a lot of us put ourselves in financial stress nowadays. I know we've done it. You get a pre-approved for something, and you're like, sweet, I'm pre-approved for it, and you go for it, and then you're like, why'd I do that? So that is another big reason is it'd be really nice to, one, be able to have the dream of having land and everything like that. And 2, just be able to give us some more financial freedom and less financial stress.
She's so damn out of my league. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes. And I'm feeling like midnight's getting closer, and I just wanna hold her in my arms till the sun comes up. She's a little bit country.
I've said this before, and I think this is so important when cleaning, is to dust beforehand. It's great to do it with a vacuum, but I didn't want my vacuum to completely die, so I did in some of the areas that had like a lot of dog hair and stuff. But then I come in with my Swiffer dusters and I dust everything. Now don't worry, I come back in with an actual cleaner. This is just to get all the a majority of the dust and hair and things like that up. The stuff that will really muck up your microfiber cloths, it makes it a lot easier to clean and a lot less frustrating, because I don't know about you, but especially with having dogs, I get so frustrated when I'm trying to clean something, and shoot, you can see it on my black shirt. Like, there's hair everywhere in my house. But I get really frustrated when I'm trying to clean it and there's just those strands of hair that just keeps clinging to everything. And it clings so much worse once it's sprayed down with a cleaner. So I wanted to dust everything before going around and giving everything a really good wipe down. I have not used Orange Glow in a long time to clean with, but I used it the other day in one of my helping hand videos, and I'm like, oh, I forgot how much I just kind of like the sheen it gives and the smell and everything. Now, it is one of those things that you don't need much of it, and I wouldn't use it every time. I still like using my multi-purpose cleaner, but man, there was something about using it on this day that just made it enjoyable to me. I really enjoy using different cleaning products. I enjoy using them. I enjoy changing it up and just having a different thing going on. And using this today, I was very much enjoying just the whole fresh scent that it gave the entire house. All right, so the next question is, where are we moving? So we are staying obviously in Florida, and we don't plan on moving too far away. We may not still be in Volusia County, but Flagler or any of those other local counties we're probably going to stay in. So the thing is, my mom works part-time for a doctor's office, and she loves her job. It's one of those things that it just keeps her busy. It's something she doesn't want to give up right now, even though my dad is retired and everything, and she could be retired. She really enjoys working. And after they sold the coffee shop, which has been great for them because it gave her more freedom, she still wanted something to do. So we want to stay within, I think she said she'd like to be within 45 minutes of her job. So she doesn't mind traveling a little bit, but she doesn't want to travel like over an hour. So that is the biggest thing, is keeping in mind trying to be within 45 minutes to an hour. Now, I don't think we're going to stay in Volusia County for the pure fact of it is expensive. Very, very expensive. We have found places and we've looked at places, and I'm just like, I just can't fathom spending this kind of money for the land and the houses, especially when we move to a little bit out and you get a lot more for your money. But we're not 100% sure exactly where we're moving right now. We did find a property that we absolutely fell in love with. Like, in my mind, it was meant to be, and I couldn't imagine going anywhere else. However, they would not accept an offer with a home sale contingency without a contract on our current home. And while we've been waiting for getting a contract on our current home, they currently are pending. So that's probably not going to happen, which still makes me very, very sad. I guess there's always a chance. It's just pending, so it could always still fall through. But we've also found land that we have considered, but that has been a little bit more stressful just because there's so much going on. We found 10 acres. We really, really love. The seller of the 10 acres, though, does not want to split the 10 acres into 5-acre lots, and that county has to be a minimum of 5-acre lots, which is actually great because we don't want it to we don't want to buy somewhere that eventually a big subdivision is going to buy and build a million houses. Making it where it is a minimum of 5 acres is actually awesome because you're guaranteed it's going to be people that have land and stuff like that. So we're still kind of working on that. But back to my sink, you can see I got all that stuff done and now I'm moving back here. So I am using my kettle and boiling water and putting that down there first just to kind of flush and rinse out all the dish detergent in here. You can also see I was making a bottle for Athena at the same time. But then I'm actually going to use baking soda in the sink. And this is where it gets very controversial. A lot of people are like, baking soda and vinegar counteract each other and kills the whole purpose of it. But here is why I do it. So you put the baking soda in, and then you pour the vinegar in, and you get this reaction of it all wanting to come outwards. I like to plug the hole so that pressure, you can see that pressure is hard enough it popped the little plunger. I want that to push through the pipe. So we've already loosened the gunk with the detergent or the dish soap. And now we're taking the vinegar and water to, 1, the suds break stuff up, and 2, the pressure of the two combined, pushing anything that might be in those pipes through to really break it down and unclog if there is any type of buildup throughout of them. I noticed this is the best way, especially if you notice your sinks are running a little slower, but they're still working, is doing this, because that mix of the Dawn and the vinegar and baking soda often will push all of that out. I do usually like to use more Dawn than I did, like 1/4 to 1/2 of a cup. But as you can see, I tapped out what I had on hand. I had to order more, so I just used what I had. And then same situation here. I'm just using the plug to push it down as much as possible. If I notice it's still bubbling, then I just put it back in. But once you see it finally like break through, the plug wasn't working as hard, so I tried using my hand, and you can see that worked a little bit better, just trying to get that pressure. And then once it finally like emerged and really pushed it through, this sink, which was a little finicky, completely unclogged, running great.
Inside my mind, you can't ask me to surrender. When reaching for the dream keeps me alive. 'Cause it's keeping me alive. Interstate might take me.
Doing this with the sinks, you'll also realize, is a great deodorizer. Our drains can hold so much odor, and this is a great way just to purify that. Between the baking soda and the vinegar, it really helps with any funky scents that you may not want in your house. So another great reason to do this. All right, but another question about moving and the idea of a homestead and everything. So I did not grow up on like in the country so much. We lived in the city of Milwaukee because my dad was a Milwaukee firefighter, and Milwaukee had a rule that if you were a city employee, you had to live in the city limits. So we lived in Milwaukee. However, my grandparents lived out in Big Bend, and if you know Milwaukee area, Waukesha, you probably know where Big Bend is. Otherwise, you may not. But Big Bend is a small town in Wisconsin. And since growing up, I always told my grandma, I'm like, Grandma, one day I want your house. They had a beautiful amount of land. My grandfather had a gorgeous garden. And I remember summers picking strawberries and canning green beans. He would take me fishing and do all these things. And I just fell in love with the whole gardening and being self-sufficient, canning your own food. It's one reason I love cooking and baking and doing all those different things. So that is a big reason why we want this. And a lot of people have asked when it comes to the animals, what type of animals we want. And trust me, we are not getting all of these at once because I am someone that like over prepares. Sometimes it's to a fault where I'm just like, I look into things for months before doing anything. I think it might be driving my parents a little bit crazy because with this land, I've been like very hesitant because I'm like, I don't want to just pull the trigger. Like buying raw land is so different than buying a house on land, and I got to do all the research. Like, what is septic cost? What does well cost? What does it cost to get electrical to the house? There's like so many things that is just running through my head. But it will be the same with animals. So obviously we'll have the ducks. We already have the ducks. We love the ducks. They're like family. We will also have quail. My parents have quail. We already know quail. We love quail. And I think other than those, the first animals we will try and get are rabbits. Rabbits are great for a multitude of reasons. And then pigs. We have been looking into coon pigs, but once again, I'm still doing a lot of research. But from what I've seen, coons have a great temperament, especially if you have children. Now, just like anything, keep in mind that they are 100, 200 pound animals, and you don't want to just let your kids be out there by themselves. But we've heard really good things about them, and they seem less intimidating than a cow. We would like cows in the future. We will not be doing, what are they called? Goats. Because I have heard, I had to show you this. This door always gets so filthy, and often it doesn't show on film, but I feel like today it showed. So we had to get this clean. And like I said, today was a chaotic cleaning. You see me jumping all over the place because my head, I'm like, I'm going to tackle all of these big major projects on this day because the next day I could make everything look pretty. I knew I had the time to do like a quick clean the next day, but this was my day to like tackle those nitty-gritty on the to-do list type stuff. So the drains, the windows, things like that, dusting everything, getting all the dog hair off everything. So getting these doors clean. But yes, think self-sufficiency. So everything I want, one, I want the temperament to be good, and two, I want them to be multi-purpose type animals. So our thought is ducks, chickens, quail, pigs, and eventually cows. Now, I have heard from a lot of people, as much as I love Highland cows, so many of you have said, do not get Highland cows in Florida, even though I've seen them down here, that they don't do well in the heat. So that has put me back to researching what is another small breed cow that would be good on a homestead that has a really good personality. And I think I've been looking into Dexters. So if any of you guys know anything about Dexters, leave them in the comments below. Let me know. Are those okay for Florida? I know they're down here, but Highland cows were down here too, and I'm being told don't do Highland cows. So if you have info, definitely let me know what your thoughts are on Dexters.
This is now or never. It is understood. Let's get it while the getting is good. Just get it while the getting is good. Get it while the getting is good.
All right, so this question is not moving related, but I've been getting this question a lot. So I wanted to respond to it is, how do I feel about Freya starting kindergarten literally on Tuesday? So all the kids go back to school Monday, but with the kindergartners, they're having part of the class start Monday, part of the class start Tuesday, and part of the class start Wednesday, and then the full class will be in on Thursday, which I actually think is really smart. That way the teacher has small groups to kind of get used to this, because not all kids do preschool like our kids. We never send our kids to 4K or 3K or daycare or anything like that. We've always been really big on when they're younger staying home. I think part of that is because I was homeschooled growing up. I like being able to have that hands-on teaching with my kids. I was telling my mom the other day, I'm like, I think part of the reason my kids are so smart is because I love the idea of public schools, because I'm just not smart enough to teach my kids, and I don't think I have the patience. But with being someone that was homeschooled my entire life, everything I do with the kids, I take as a teaching moment. When we're cooking, when we're cleaning, when we're working on projects, like I use those as science class. And I had to show you guys how dirty this is. Yes, filthy. And you guys know how much I clean. It gets messy, it gets dirty so quickly. But I take all like normal life things and use it as teaching moments for the kids. And I love being able to do that, especially when they're young. Now, I still do it as they get older, but that is one reason like I don't send our kids to 4K personally. I like being able to have them home. But the question is how do I feel about Freya starting kindergarten? And I have to say, I don't know how I feel in a way of I know it's going to be so good for her. She has been asking to go to school since last school year. And she's so much different than the rest of the kids because the boys, being September birthdays, they started kindergarten as like the oldest in their class because they just missed that September 1st cutoff of you have to be 5 by September 1st to go into kindergarten. So with them being September birthdays, they didn't make that cutoff. Well, with Freya being an end of August birthday, she's going to kindergarten a full year before the boys, and she's going to be the youngest in the class. And that had me super anxious, but I think she's ready. Like, I really do think she's going to do so well. But don't get me wrong, I know I'm going to cry Tuesday. I cried every time the kids went to school. When we moved down here to Florida and they started a new school, I cried. And there's just something about it. And Freya being our first girl and everything, I know I'm going to have Athena at home. And honestly, thank goodness, because I don't know what I would do with myself if I didn't have somebody home with me. Pray for me when Athena starts school because I might go crazy. But yeah, like I'm ready because I know Freya's ready. But at the same time, I'm definitely not ready for my baby girl to be starting school. And I know I'm going to be a nervous wreck that whole first week of school. I was telling Bobby, I'm like, thank goodness at least Bjorn and Freya are in the same school. Like I realized Bjorn isn't in her class and isn't going to be around her most of the day, but just knowing that she has her big brother there to walk her in on her first day, because this school doesn't allow you to walk them in on their first days. Our old school did. They not walk into the classroom, but you were able to walk them like to the door and stuff, and they don't allow that at this school. It gives me a lot of peace of mind being like, okay, he can walk her in and kind of show her where they're going, what they're doing, because all the kids meet in the auditorium before the teachers grab them to take them to their class. And then at the end of the day, he will be there with her, waiting for the car and getting used to that school pickup and drop off and everything.
We're coming down. There's a party on the water. It's a hell of a time. We're on a boat. We're killing time. In our own honky tonk with a bottle of wine. We're going up. We're coming down. Cheers to feeling alright. It's a hell of a time. A hell of a time. Yeah, we're chilling out here. Ladies in the rear, her feet in the water, her top disappears.
All right, back to a moving question. Oh, also, if you're wondering what the water is on the couch, when I had moved our air filter, it spilt slightly. I had it resting on the arm, which I should have known better. And that's what that is, just a little bit of water. When that tilted, I never should have done that, but I did end up just replacing the water, adding some essential oils. I love these things. Absolutely love these things. So I also recently got asked about if we are nervous. And if you follow us on our family vlog channel, you know what we've been looking at. So we've been looking at regular homes. We've been looking at manufactured homes. Actually, when looking at land, here, it is way more common for people to have manufactured homes when they have a lot of land. So most properties we have looked at didn't have like a normal house build setup. They were manufactured homes on them. And we've been looking at manufactured homes and doing research on stuff like that. And I had a lot of people ask us if we are worried about resale on a manufactured home. And a quick answer for that is no. Multiple reasons. One, the resale on manufactured homes nowadays are no different than regular homes, depending on how you have them installed and put in. But also, we don't ever plan on selling. This is the first time I have ever said, and if you guys follow me, you know this. I always say, oh, I don't want to say forever home because you never know what life's going to bring. And that's very, very true. But in my heart, like, if this all plays out the way we want it to, we want this to be our forever home. Our whole point is to build this land and be able to pass it down to our kids and everything. My parents and I have already discussed that if they were to pass away, because obviously they would have part of the land and we would have part of the land, that we don't want anything in their will except to know that that part of the land would stay in Bobby and my name. That way we don't need to worry about it eventually selling, because the whole point is that we'd be building this for our future and our kids' future and our grandkids' future. So no. Long answer short is no, we're not worried about resale, because that is completely not what we are thinking when it comes to all of this. We're not thinking about selling it in the future. I hope to die in whatever house we end up on and whatever land we get up on. And that's actually another reason why it's been taking a little bit longer, is obviously we wanted to know that we could build 2 homes on it for ourselves and my parents. But I also wanted to know that there is a way to build other properties on it for the kids as they get older, because let's be honest, housing prices and land prices are just going up and up and up. So the idea that we could have land to be like, hey, all you have to do is build a house on this land, we already have it, kind of giving our kids that financial freedom and stability as they get older.
Up the stereo in a place I didn't know till now. In a different part of town, I see new colors as the sun goes down. No, it doesn't even matter to me where I go. Just feel I need to take a ride. I don't know when I'll get back. Keep on going and relax tonight.
All right, I think this is the last question. I know the most common question was, why are we moving? And that's why I answered that one first. But the next question I've gotten a decent amount is, do we tell potential buyers about our YouTube channel? That way they can see how much we've done to this house. And the answer is no. I actually don't tell most people what I do for a living, because you still get those very much look at of, oh, really? That's what you do? And it's funny because I've been doing this now since 2018, and it's still just like, you know what? I consider myself a stay-at-home mom or work-from-home mom, and that's it. So no, I took my YouTube plaque down that I got when I hit 100,000 subscribers, and we don't tell them. I figure in the end, it doesn't really matter. They're either going to like the house or they won't. And obviously our realtor knows how much we've done, because when we're looking for realtors, we let them know all the different things that we have done to update this house, like brand new windows, brand new floors, things like that. But no, I'm usually fairly private. I am also very much an introvert, which I always laugh when I say that to myself, because I know people think that's crazy that you do a YouTube channel and you're an introvert. But like, when I am chit-chatting here with you guys, like, to me, this is just like talking to a friend, and I love this. But I'm the type of person that I always tell when I meet new people, I'm the type of friend that I will be there for you if you need me 100%, but I also may not text you for a month. Now, not if you need me. If you need me, I will be there, and I am that type of friend. But I am also someone that I don't love going out a lot. If you want to do something, I would much rather go hang out at your house, or you come here and hang out, than go to some sort of event. So I am definitely one of those people that I am a homebody. I enjoy spending time with my husband and my kids and things like that. So I don't talk about that stuff often. So no letting future buyers know that I have a YouTube channel. And actually, we even made it that when we listed this house just to make sure that we didn't have people coming and looking just to come and look because of what I do for a living, that we made sure our realtor knew, other than open houses, because obviously open houses anyone can come to. We didn't want people looking at the house unless they had a pre-approval. One, our house is at a price where if you haven't been pre-approved, you probably shouldn't be looking at it in the first place. But also, like I said, with having 4 kids and animals and stuff like that, it's a lot of work to get the house ready for any showing. As you can see here, showing and listings, like I have been cleaning pretty much every day nonstop because you never know when somebody's gonna be like, hey, we want to show up. And even though we did ask for any showings to give us at least 4 hours notice, we have had people are like, hey, I know you need 4 hours, but is there any way we could come in the next hour? And as long as we can make it feasible, we have been doing that, because our thought is the more people looking at the house, that's when we only need one buyer. We just need that one perfect buyer, and we try not to prevent that. As you see, my parents showed up. My dad was going to help me with the pool pump. We ordered a new pool pump because last time we ordered a pool pump, we were not able to get the correct one. It was out of stock. It was like a 1 pound pool pump or something like that. I may be saying this completely wrong. I am not the savvy person when it comes to this stuff. Bobby is. He does all the research. But needless to say, because we did not order the correct one, it didn't last as long as it should have. So we went and ordered the correct one. But with Bobby being out of town, he wasn't able to install it. So I asked my dad if he could come over and install it, and he did. It only took him about 30 minutes, but I was very grateful because it just was one less thing that Bobby had to worry about when he got home, since it was already installed. But that's why my parents were over. They came over, worked on that, and as they were working on that, I just kept cleaning, trying to get everything prepared.
I got you. La 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 la. Time is up, nothing to do. You are gone, that makes me blue. But here he comes to take me to.
If you guys have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below. I know I often have a hard time keeping up with comments, and honestly, when there's hundreds of comments coming in a day, plus just keeping up with regular life, it can be really difficult. But I do try to read them all, and sometimes it's so much easier than responding to all of them via comment system, but responding to them on here as well. So definitely leave those comments down below if you have any more questions, because I know a lot of people are wondering things, and I try to be as open and transparent with you guys as possible. So I will answer any of those questions that you may have.
Now, 'cause I don't wanna slow this down. My heart is screaming out your name. I'm wasted on you. Here we are, right underneath.
Oh, this actually reminds me of a question. So I had someone that had asked, that was not from the area, about appliances for sale in America. So yes, in America, appliances in the house are just assumed that they come with the house unless listed otherwise. So microwave, stove, dishwasher, refrigerator, washer and dryer, even the freezer and fridge in our garage, it would be assumed that that would stay with the house. Now we did put in our listing that the freezer in our garage does not come with the house because we do want to take that with us. But yes, those are things here that all appliances are usually assumed come with the house unless stated otherwise. So that's why I like to make sure the inside, the outside, everything looks as good as possible, because people do like to look at it. As even though I don't believe appliances would like make or break someone buying a house, it is one of those things that people look at it and start like doing the math in their head if they think something has to be replaced.
I promise that I will stand by you forever, and I won't waste it. I'll follow you, yeah. I'll follow you, yeah. I'll follow you, yeah.
I know I've told you guys what type of wet dry vacuum I have, but I always get this question, so I like to mention it. So this is the Eureka's wet dry vac. I absolutely love this thing, and I always tell people, if you tried wet dry vacuums when they very first came out and you're like, I don't like this, it doesn't work great, I highly recommend trying them again. I got it when they first came out. I'm trying to remember which one it even was one of the first ones, and I was not a fan. They weren't cordless at first, they were all corded, but the bigger thing was they got like a musty, mildewy smell if you didn't clean the roller every single time. Obviously, you need to empty the dirty water tank. No, you never want to leave just dirty water in it, but the new ones nowadays have self-drying and cleaning features, and it makes it so much better. So as long as you remember to empty that dirty water tank, you are good to go. That is the only thing that you definitely have to remember, but I love this Eureka one. I haven't tried the Tinco. That is the one that people always ask my opinion on. I have not tried it, but I will say I've tried a couple. And I've been happy with all the newer versions of them that I have tried. They all have similar components. There might be slight differences. So I always say go based off of what your needs are. I like this one. It works really well with having dogs and dog hair. It gets up against the baseboards really well. I guess the only thing I would change is it is edge to edge, but it's only on one side, and I do wish it was on both sides. But now I want to show you guys all the afters. So this is how the house looks when we leave for either an open house or a staging. So I literally took these shots as we were walking out the door so you guys could get the exact view and make sure all the lights are on. I feel like lights are key. In the bedroom and in the family room, I put on one of those pictures that you can find on YouTube with just either simple piano music in the background or some sort of jazz music, and I dropped the volume down to like between 4 and 6 just so it's in the background, but it's not like obvious and obnoxious. And just try to simplify as much as possible. Make sure our toothbrushes are put away. Make sure any extra towels, so like Freya's My Little Pony towels, are put away. Everything like that. I will say this is one of the few times is with selling a house is when you can literally leave your house and every single room is spotless. It always feels so good to walk back into the house and have a perfectly clean area. Also, people ask what we do with the animals. So we take Minnie with us because she's easy to take. Bailey actually stays in the kennel that is in the dog room because he's old enough that getting him in and out of the car just isn't good for him anymore. His joints of jumping up and down, and he's way too big for us to lift up. And then the ducks, we've started putting in their cage as well when we leave. When we first listed the house, we let them just kind of do their thing, but we have started where we actually do put them in their cage for the little bit of time that people would be here. But I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like always, make sure you drop me this emoji down below if you made it to the end. And I would love if you are new here and you made it this far, if you would hit that subscribe button. I always have new cleaning, decluttering, organizing, and decorating videos on my channel. Sometimes I share some of our family favorite recipes. And of course, I have my Helping Hand series where I go to someone else's house and help them clean a space of their home that they are struggling with. But I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.